Creme has been taken off the board here by FPX.
Yeah, they're clearly a little bit worried about allowing Creme to play this game out exactly how he wants, giving him all of his favorite champions. The Annie has been his highest pick, and he's 6-1 on that. He has been incredibly strong. Now with this first pick up and available, in terms of things that you think of as first pickable, the Vi, kind of the only remaining champion that's been super high priority, but I don't really see either of these teams moving towards this one right at the very beginning. Varus instead going to be the option. I think it's looked really good right here for JiaQi. He's looked nice on this one, and you've got a lot of different build paths, so you're not locking yourself into one style too early in the draft.
Yeah, I'm glad that FPX did not fall into the Vi B1 trap, because if you're not able to pair things with it as a strong dive combo, and then Vi's your only solo diver, that can be a recipe for disaster. Top Esports, though, knowing that Trundle is no longer in play, easily slammed the Scion for 369, and then Yunara picked up here for JackeyLove, one of the better marksmen still left here in this Fearless series.
And it feels like the sort of champion he should really like. He's only had one game on it, was able to pick up a win, so we'll see what his second game on the champion in competitive is going to be. For FPX, they know they're going to have a Scion matchup here for Sheer. They're going to grab the Ambessa. This is a champion he's been going back to time and time again. Hasn't really been finding a lot of success on it. So right now you've got yourself that initial little bit of engage potentially with those chains of corruption, and then just going in with that public execution. You need yourself a few more bits of follow-up, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do get to see a JJ jungler be picked here.
Talking a lot with the team right now, and at least because you already have the Ambessa locked in, you have a dive buddy that you can commit with, and Cease and Desist easily lays up a public execution to be lined up without any outplay potential from Top Esports. But now this is the opportunity for Top Esports and Kanavi to probably lock in his choice of jungle opponent. But that could also mean that Top Esports secure a priority support pick in this Alistar, and now they can thin the answers in the support pool for Jwei.
Really interesting to see that Alistar locked in right here. I do wonder if they're going to feel like Care potentially in his back pocket has himself some sort of Silas angle and take that one away. That's usually something you see banned out when you want that one. I don't know, the particularly Care's going to want to grab this one. And so you expect it is going to be a lot of jungle bans going on through. And already you've had quite a few taken off of the board.
What if, Bloxxer, you don't ban the Silas from Top Esports and you pick it for yourself as a flex option?
You want the Silas jungle still. You're still super... Oh, you know what? I like it. I think it'd be fun. And you're into an FPX who just aren't as strong as you in general. If you don't know if this is super competitive viable, playing it into your opponents here might be fun. However, TES do what I was expecting them to do, and do just take that one off of the board. You really don't want to even threaten having a Silas with that Unbreakable on top of you. It's so miserable to try to deal with. The Xin Zhao being taken away as well. I do wonder if we're going to see bans onto something here like the Wukong. Yeah, that one is going to be taken off of the board. You have got all of those top tier junglers now taken away. Do you leave it all the way to the last pick right here for TES? You could potentially, if you've got something a bit wild that you want to pull out.
You can set up Kanavi Zed. I would probably go with a mid laner pick blind option for Creme, just so that you can give Kanavi the whole field to look at and make sure that if you do go for something like Zed, right now your Deathmark can avoid cease and desist when she locks onto you, so that's a nice way to dodge it. You can dodge public execution and chain of corruptions easily. I think the last things that you're worried about are things like I don't know if FPX would go for like a polymorph or just some point and click CC, or things that make it super hard for an assassin to dive into. So they test they throw out a feeler with the Ahri and see what FPX's option is, and if a Galio pops out, that makes me feel less comfortable trying to dive into the backline, knowing that a taunt could be waiting for me on the other end.
You've also now got some more dive buddies to get on into the backline. You go leaping in with that ulti as the Vi, and then you get yourself the public execution on top, and your Galio comes flying in. It's going to be Jwei's Nautilus as well to round things out right here for FPX. They very much got themselves a dive composition, a pick comp, but they can still go toe-to-toe in these straight-up 5v5s, as long as you're careful with where your engages come through. For TS, they're all about these 5v5s. They are just looking to run straight at you, pull somebody into the backline even potentially if Kanavi wants to grab himself this Skarner. The Skarner, he's been really falling off in priority for the majority of these junglers. There's only a couple people that keep pulling it out. I personally love it, especially in this situation.
Yep, you already know that FPX are trying to dive into you, and as a Skarner, you're like, well, great, now I don't have to work as hard to throw in an Impale as
free
a...
food.
Yeah, exactly. You know where everyone is going to try and force their way into. So now Top Esports have tested the waters, baited out some picks from FPX to confirm what were going to be the last answers that tied up the composition for FPX, and they have answered beautifully with a really strong front line that now that FPX have to get through. And if we look at the damage profile in FPX, especially if it's a poke Varus,
Yeah,
I don't like
exactly. Okay, but then you're sat here right here as JiaQi and you go, right, I poke Varus and I don't really do any damage to the front line, or I go on hit and I get a little bit too close, I get impaled, I get headbutt pulverized, I just immediately get evaporated. I think you have to go towards the poke here, otherwise there's just no way that you're actually able to make this team fight work. You're not able to make this game work, but then the lack of damage could be a little bit of a worry.
And this prompts FPX to be on a timer if it is poke Varus, right? Because otherwise, your damage is going to get outscaled by the natural innate tankiness that this front line from Top Esports is going to have on their side. So that puts more of a burden on JeJe and Care to be super proactive. They have the tools to do it, but can they pull it off? This is match point for Top Esports. They win this series, they get first seed uncontested, it is theirs, and they will end the Rumble stage as the best team in the LPL. We'll see if FunPlus Phoenix can pull off an upset here and bring us to game 3, or if it will be a clean sweep from Top Esports. Let's hit the riff for game 2.
还有30秒到达战场，碾碎他们。
Hell yeah.
Let's
Dude,
go.
that is the most emphatic FPX Gyro cheerleader I have seen so far this season. But they know that it's the last series for FunPlus Phoenix before they go into play-in stage. And, you know, cheers like that could give the morale boost to FPX necessary to make a pro diff in this game. And speaking of which, if you want to get some pro diff for yourselves in your next solo queue game and get a one-on-one coaching scheduled interview, actually, we might have to hold that. There's a lot of aggressive vision right now from Kanavi. Doesn't look like it's going to result into anything, so throw that back up. ProDiff.gg. Thanks to them, we have been able to continue running this broadcast as they are one of our sponsors. If you want to improve your game, use code LPL10 to save 10% on your next one-on-one with a current or former pro from the LTA, NACL, or the ERLs, and try and improve your game today.
Super big thank you to them. And thank you to the teams for pausing their aggression just long enough for us to be able to give you that one. Exactly, previous game, right? They immediately got to the action, and to be fair, this bot lane already aggressive.
Immediate cleanse by JackeyLove to get rid of the ignite. Jwei and JiaQi went for an aggressive early lane setup, and this is lethal tempo from JiaQi's Varus, so more than likely this is going to be the on-hit Varus setup here.
He's on hitting it, which both gives me more hope for the chances of FPX winning this game, and also worries me massively for JiaQi's KDA at the end. If he steps a little bit too far forwards, there's every opportunity that he dies a billion times in this one. But this is what you have to do, right? I think with the poke virus, you were just never going to get through this front line. The Scion, the Skarner, the Alistar, that's a front line of dreams. The only counter to that, though, is that I do wonder if TES, falling a little bit far behind, may be in a bit of a lack of damage situation, right?
Yeah.
You're having some decent burst through from Creme, right? But you're not a full burst champion as the RE. JackeyLove's kind of got a lot on his shoulders in this game.
And the big key for FPX, as we highlighted during the draft, is you have to get things rolling for yourself. If you find a big gold advantage with tools like Vi and Galio and Nautilus who can just immediately send a fight. I like this from JeJe. Level 3 camp clear into mid lane, finds the ball breaker into the taunt onto Creme, and that forces the flash. Sure, it's not a kill, but now he's down 50% HP.
Yeah, now what you need here as FPX is for JJ to head back into his jungle, do a little bit more clearing, and get back into this mid lane. If you don't re-gank before that level 6 comes through, then there's no real point to this. Yes, it's nice to get the flash out. It's another extra bit of mobility away from Creme, stops the flash charms, but if you can punish onto this lack of flash RE pre-level 6 and get you that early kill, there's a way for you to really just start rolling in this game. JJ starts up his red buff. Kanavi was hunting, could potentially have gone in, is going to decide against it and just go and take the Scuttle Crab instead. And so as much as we've had flashes of action so far in this game, nobody going down.
Yeah, the comm from his bot lane saying, hey, we just took a base, we're swapping with 369 onto the top side of the map. If you go into that jungle, that is a solo mission for you and maybe Creme to back you up. But
good luck and Godspeed, but...
Yep.
Absolutely. So, like you said, the swaps are going to come on through. Sheer kind of caught in this lane right now. The reset is pretty slow right here out of JiaQi. He is able to push this wave all the way through. But 369 with the teleport isn't going to miss out onto too much. And this means Sheer going to be quite late to this lane swap. Does he get cancelled? Oh my god, he gets... This is miserable for Sheer right here.
That is brutal.
Look at what he's missing.
Yeah. And meanwhile, 369 was able to receive a full wave that was stacked and pushing into his turret.
Yeah.
Not quite the same state on the top side of the map for Sheer here. And this wave is so massive, JackeyLove can easily receive it. Sheer finally gets a chance to TP into the bottom side of the map, but he's forced to take a terrible trade into 369 because I think he just TP'd into the middle of the wave and maybe 369 was not showing. So he just caught him by surprise. And now Sheer, I mean, he still has a flash, but he might need a bailout from JJ to help reset this lane so he can get another base off.
Yeah, that was a fully stacked Decimating Smash into full combo right there from 369. Massive minion wave being stacked up right here as well. And Sheer down a level. There was just no way for him to compete onto this one. Finally ticks over to the level 5. That's going to keep him a little bit safer right now. You'd be very surprised if you end up seeing a dive. But it is just Sheer getting pushed around in this bottom lane at the moment. Really unfortunate for an Ambessa that's going to be a critical part of the game plan here for FPX.
Hasn't fallen too far behind in CS, but -1 in the cannon. Top laners everywhere around the world. He'll feel that one. Our hearts are with you. As FPX have at least sent JiaQi and Jwei to answer JackeyLove and Hong on the top side of the map. This has opened up an opportunity maybe for FPX to look at Dragon if top esports are clearly focusing into the top side. Kanavi managing to snag JJ with the Ishtal impact, but there's no follow-up. It's just Kanavi trying to bully around the buy.
Yeah, and I mean, why not? At this point in the game, the Zascana, you kind of get free roam. Is potentially looking for a dive right here. Always risky into the Nautilus. Nautilus can be very good on that counter, and you don't really have a particularly big minion wave stacked up to make this one work. Kanavi, though, does cancel his recall.
Oh, flash from Hong with the Pulverize, and he snags Jwei with the Ishtal impact. JiaQi is still under fire, forced to pop both of his summoner spells, but he's trying to stand and deliver with these arrows. Jwei managing to survive without even popping his own flash. It could have been worse for the side of FPX's bot lane, but now this is a massive wave that is getting stacked up by top esports. They're going to crash it in, and I don't think JiaQi is going to get a chance to really collect anything off of it.
No, and JackeyLove hunting on forwards right here, tries to get that cancel off, isn't quite going to be able to teleport back up towards the top side right here for Jwei. At least somebody is going to be absorbing that XP in the top side, and because of all of the members showing top lane, JJ is going to be able to grab himself that first Drake for FPX. 369 now might be the focus of another dive. He knows this is coming. No, he doesn't, actually. It was a ward that had been stopped out by the control. Maybe it's just going to be the steal away of the Gromp, but I don't know. 369 below half HP could be looking juicy.
He was able to heal back up thanks to the power of Thorn Shield and more than likely second wind, but this level 6 ding for JJ off of the stolen Gromp and the Dragon means that he has now hit the level 6 mark and cease and desist. And notably, Creme doesn't have flash for... I don't think he's going to be able to spring on it in time. Creme now level 7. He has a Spirit Rush available. Looks like flash will be coming up in just a few. So that window to try and punish Creme and get this Vi and Kae's Galio further accelerated has probably passed. But I'm curious to see where JJ is going to take his first ultimate usage.
Yeah, does he decide to just get aggressive underneath a tower potentially and just force something to happen? Instead, right now, he's going to start up onto these grubs.
369 is here! They know that JiaQi doesn't have flash. Jwei was able to body block at least and absorb it, but JiaQi still has no summoner spells, so 369 can just commit and give JackeyLove first blood. Impale will snag up JJ, who was trying to take the grubs. Already got one, but now is forced to run away with the Vault Breaker. Care escorts him out, but Top Esports, thanks to their proactive setup on the top side, will claim the last 2 grubs.
I thought that it was a little bit greedy in that previous play on top side that we had seen. Creme having to flash away. He's okay. But it doesn't matter. You get the flash out of JiaQi, and that's all you needed at that point. He could not run away from that situation. You also then blow the flash as well on that mid lane at the very end from Creme. So a lot of summoner spells do go down in and amongst this, but critically the grubs, 2 of them picked up by TES, only 1 available for FPX. It just feel like TES, they're just so much faster around the map. They're just cleaner on these map rotations.
It was just such a nice angle and window for 369 to get aggressive on the map. He was able to absorb that last wave. Sheer didn't get a chance to really push it in that much. I think at the end of the day, he got 1 wave over 369, but because of the disadvantage that he was put to begin with by the lane swap that we saw, that was the window the Top Esports were given with, and they executed well on it. And now it's not the end of the game for FPX, obviously. We have seen FPX been able to bounce back before when JiaQi was the subject of multiple dives by BLG, but we cannot stress this enough, Bloxxer. This is a composition from FPX that needs to get the ball rolling first.
Absolutely. If FPX begin to fall behind, this dive-based pick composition, it doesn't work. Especially when you've got yourself the Vi. There was a reason that you were not super excited by the prospect of a B1 Vi. This champion, when it begins to fall behind, is real rough. You need a lot of setup around it. Well, they do have the setup, but they haven't been able to get it ahead at all so far. You're up by, what, 6 or 7 CS? That's not going to be a big advantage. Haven't been able to find any kills. This is a level 7 Vi. You've now had yourself that ulti for a little while at this point, and still just hasn't found an angle to go in and use it.
Been a solid 3 minutes while cease and desist has been available, and the proactivity has been lacking from FPX. There's still an angle where maybe JJ is just trying to farm up a storm, hit Sundered Spike as his first item. Maybe we'll see if he gets very aggressive there, where he has the maximum amount of damage behind it, as he's hovering on the top side. This is 9-game win streak on Ahri for Creme. More than likely should be strong enough to be able to carry this performance forward, as he has yet to be defeated in the past few games so far.
Absolutely, and so far, so good. Just been chilling in the lane. You don't expect the Galio lane to be particularly one that you end up losing out on to, that you get too much threat in terms of solo kills, but he did lose that flash early on, was able to survive that flashless again, but obviously with that Spirit Rush, not going to be too worried about that one. We've now got ourselves the next Drake spawning up here in just 40 seconds time, and currently TES, they have just a massive push going on down in the bottom side of the map, and currently looking for a pick onto Care.
Oh man, Care trying to just walk back to lane and pick up this wave, but he's gonna get pulverized, he's gonna get impaled, he's gonna get knocked back into the wall. It is not a fun time for this Galio, and JackeyLove picks up his 2nd kill of the game.
That's one of those ones where you look straight to that death recap and see how many seconds of CC you just took. Not able to walk away from that one. Has the flash available, isn't even going to get an opportunity to try to use that. And as we said, just before the Drake is going to spawn, now that you don't have that Galio available, should allow the setup to be a little bit cleaner. Still, obviously, Galio, with that global ulti, is going to be able to rejoin the team a little bit faster than most other champions.
And we question again, Bloxxer, where's the proactivity from FPX? They got to be the ones that fire on all cylinders first. They got to be the ones finding these proactive moves, and they're just behind the curve. JJ, no.
So spotted.
Oh, no. JJ. He's got Jwei and JiaQi here on the bottom side, so he is not forced to flash over the Dragon Pit and should have enough cooldown back on that Ball Breaker. Top Esports surely will look for it. JiaQi immediately flashing away from the headbutt pulverized combo. Chain of Corruption stops him in his tracks. JJ flash Ball Breaker and ceases desist right onto the Ball Breaker. Woo! JackeyLove gets bursted out. It's the hero's entrance from Care. He's back from the grave with vengeance, and Creme now in trouble. It's a double for Care, and just like that, I didn't believe in FunPlus Phoenix, but they had it all under control.
There we go. That's the FPX that we needed to see. And I love the aggression right there between JiaQi and Care and JJ. They just spot JackeyLove and decide you must die. Both of the summoner spells used in an attempt to survive, and it was not enough. FPX are going to get away with their second Drake of the game off of the back of positioning that both of us thought was pretty bad out of JJ.
I did not believe in the play at all, but FPX, rather than playing proactively, forcing the initiation, they waited for top esports to go into them.
JiaQi is sat on top of wards the entire time, right? And this moment right here, JackeyLove flash Vault Breaker over the wall, immediately pops that R as well. With the Season's assist down, there's no way you can get away. JiaQi as well, flashing forwards, using his ulti. It's a lot blown, right? It's a lot blown to be able to get yourself that kill onto JackeyLove, but it's gold into the back pockets. It's that Drake as well to stack onto. It's nice.
And this is what FPX now need to do. They know that JackeyLove has no cleanse, no flash for the next few minutes.
Do it again.
This is the time where FPX need to be able to just continue sequencing and using their ultimates off cooldown and threatening JackeyLove. And if top esports play defensive and back up, then use that pressure to get yourself free objectives.
Yeah, just keep going, right? We keep saying it about these teams that are a little bit weaker in our league, that they love getting early advantages and then taking their foot off of the gas. They don't keep pushing their advantages forward. You really can't afford to do that with this composition. The one downside for FPX that I think is worth highlighting is that Care does get both of the kills. Now that means he's already got himself that hollow completed. He's going to be tanky, he's going to be real difficult for TES to get through, and that is critical, but you would potentially have preferred those kills going down onto either JiaQi or maybe JJ, just to get them a little bit further ahead.
We'll see if Care can be a little bit tankier with the gold now in his back pocket. Unfortunately, JJ, because he does not have flash, might be in trouble, but he Vault Breakers over the wall, but now Creme is ready to take vengeance on this Vi, and yeah, finds the Orb of Deception, the Ishtal Impact into the Impale, just completely slays Jwei where he stands. JiaQi,
JiaQi, why?
You don't have flash! Why are you trying to contest them in that choke point?
Oh, Raafaa, I wish I had an answer for you, bud, but I have no clue what it was that JiaQi was thinking right there. Steps way too far forwards, just gets taken out. And straight off the back of us praising FPX, they make a critical mistake. And what starts this out? JJ walks over a wall, Hong. He spots him out. This is nice to start with. As Jwei, you just have to keep walking, right? He needs to recognize that this is JJ dead. Don't try to go back in. Jwei actually hooks the wall right there as well. He doesn't even land it onto a champion. JiaQi. Why?
Who's coming to save you? Who's coming to help you with this play?
It's not even like you're stepping up here because you think Care's going to come join you with that hero's entrance. He was chilling topside. He was not looking to get involved in that play. I have no answers for you on that one.
Yeah, the only answer I can find is that Sheer was on the bottom side of that map, and maybe JiaQi was going to try and, I don't know, dangle them a bit, but, like, it's still a 2v4. And Sheer isn't necessarily super fed on this Mbessa, just has an Eclipse Spike. I don't know, maybe miscommunication or just an error in judgment from the AD carry from FPX, and it's now 2,000 gold advantage for top esports, and we can't stress this enough. It's got to be FPX that have the advantage. Otherwise, top esports are just going to run away with the game, and there will be no chance for a comeback for FPX.
Exactly. And winning this one will lock TES as the best team that we have in Group Ascend. They've had themselves a really impressive split so far. Looking to cap this one off with a nice, easy 2-0 versus a struggling FPX. And so far, they've got themselves a 2k gold lead, but they are down in terms of the Drakes. And currently, it's just up to who grabs that first tower to see where those boots are going.
Yep. Not over yet for FPX. They still have some conditions to play towards. Rift Herald was secured by FPX. So if JJ can find a lane to just run the Rift Herald through, unfortunately, I don't think he's going to get an opportunity to, because Creme and the rest of top esports hovering towards the bottom side of the map push Care away from the defense of that tier 1 turret. Burst Brick is secured. Feats of Warfare are secured for top esports.
There we go. Exactly what TES would have wanted to do. Yeah, they give over a couple of early Drakes, but they're going to be happy enough with the way that this early game has played out. Now, 25 seconds until we get the next Drake. TES, they're looking to make the same play happen again. Care, walk away.
Oh no, brother. Unfortunately for Care, he's not getting out of this one. He's got a flash, but I don't think he's going to be able to use it to get out of here. Creme has multiple charges of the Spirit Rush. The kill gets gifted to him at the end of the day. FPX making a nice play, at least trading into the mid-tier 1 with this Rift Herald. And Jwei will try to at least get a knock up on the 369, forcing him to flash away.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world for FPX, but they're still down 3,000 gold, and we got a third dragon to play for.
And this is going to be a big thing to try to get. You do have yourself that ulti still from Care, so once he respawns, he can come back and join the rest of the team pretty damn quickly. So FPX, they don't have to worry about just instantly going and forcing onto this one. TES, they're even playing this one out pretty slowly. Look at the vision though, Raafaa. I mean, their jungle is lit up like a Christmas tree right now, is FPX.
FPX trying to step up and see if they can get any information for themselves. Jwei is able to sidestep the charm and preserve a lot of his HP here. Decimating Smashes is going to clip. Oh, yeah! Nice toggle from the observers. Jwei had no idea, and the Impale follows through. That's the jungler gone, and Top Esports should be able to secure this dragon.
Yeah, that's going to make it nice and easy. Stop that soul point from coming on through from FPX. And what can they do on the back end of this fight to try get a little bit of gold onto the map? The answer is nothing. It's just going to be a pure win right now for TES. Regular season merchants. We'll see if that's going to come true once we get into the playoffs, because so far, they have just been dominating.
This is the form that we want to see Top Esports in to ensure that they are playing at the peak of their strength and just... I don't know if I can fault Jwei. I don't know if he saw 369 walking into that bush. At least the bush was negated in vision by the control ward there originally, but still just tough for FPX's newest jungler, who is trying to do his damnedest to keep this squad from falling apart.
He just hasn't been proactive enough so far right here on this Vi. You need to get aggressive. You need to pair up alongside Sheer way more often. That's your dive buddy. This is who you need to be playing alongside, but it just hasn't really been working out for them so far. I think one thing that gives me a little tiny inkling of hope for FPX is that down in that bottom lane play that we saw a little while ago, Care survived for a very long time in the face of a lot of members of TES, right? It's something we highlighted earlier. Maybe TES lack in damage a little bit, and Care surviving for that long does show me that there could be some truth in that statement.
Right now for Care, the early rush into the Hollow Radiance and the Merc Treads means that a majority of Creme's damage is not going to really do that much in bringing this Galio down. JackeyLove might be a different story, but then again, Yunara does pack some mixed damage in her overall profile, even being a sustained attacker at that one. So Top Esports gonna have to be cautious about how they find Care in these fights, and while it still is a major advantage for Top Esports at this state of the game with 3,000 gold on their side, FPX, they still have windows. They still have opportunities to try and swing this gold back over to themselves. With Otacon spawning on the bottom side of the map. Oh no, Jwei. Oh, good dredge line, maybe? The flash away from Creme? But he has got a Spirit Rush, and the charm is tanked by Care. He's going to be able to sacrifice himself for the boys as he flashes away, gets some time to be able to space back. Top Esports still trying to fight in this choke point. The Ishtal impact lands on the Jwei. Three-man impale from Kanavi. Public execution. Jwei goes into the back line, trying to hunt for JackeyLove. Both at the top lane and the jungler able to assassinate JackeyLove. Wait a minute, FPX! Can they rise for the ashes? 369 left all alone, and FPX are doing it, folks! And just in time, because the Otacon can be their prize.
Kanavi got left out to dry in that fight. Now it's just Creme left available. Watching this Otacon go down. Is he going to try steal this one? There's no way.
Orbit Deception versus 1200 Smite. Who wins? Creme steps up. Looks for the Orbit Deception charm. It's too early. FPX secure the Otacon.
Kanavi went in. Tried to get himself that big impale. Got 3 members with it, but it just didn't matter in the end. And what's critical here, don't be watching this main team fight. What you need to be watching is what happens on the back end of this fight, up at the top side. the TP that comes on in, and the fact that you end up with both your Vi and your Ambessa straight on into the backline, it's really, really well played right here to just stop these main carries from being able to play. Yeah, between Sheer and JJ, straight into the backline. We're busy at this point during the main feed, just watching what it is that Kanavi's doing, but he has no follow-up. All of his friends are now having to deal with the fact they've been dove. This is the way this FPX composition has to work out, and they managed to finally execute onto a fight.
And while Top Esports have such an impressive front line, if they are separated from their damage dealers, all that CC, all that setup, all that damage absorption ain't gonna do jack squat.
Nope.
It's not gonna do anything beneficial for Top Esports, and FPX just recognizing in the moment, listen, it's time to just full send it onto the backline. They've used the majority of their abilities. There's nothing they can do to protect their Yunara and their Ahri from being able to stop us from the engage. And just now, FPX with the Otacon buff on their side, this is an opportunity to swing.
It is. Looks like FPS are going to look to push their advantage forwards by diving right here onto 369. 369, though, immediately just takes out that wave. Is going to be able to stop that one dead in its tracks. They go again, though.
369 still has a flash, but he doesn't get a chance to run away or try. I see the flash is expended. Maybe it's just the undead passive form, but FPX find a quick pick onto the top laner, and he didn't look very tanky at all, Bloxxer. He got popped like a balloon.
He burst right there. That's crazy that they were able to just take him down that damn quickly. Really well played from FPX. Now that they found themselves a little foothold in this game, it does feel like they are being way more proactive.
Trying to do the best that they can in this river. Dragon started up by FPX. If they can secure this at the cost of the tier 1 turret in the mid lane, this will put FPX on soul point and a way to accelerate the game and put Top Esports on a timer. Dredgeline connects right onto the front. Hong is caught up. Jwei getting bursted down here. Has the Locust shield. The taunt maybe a little too early on that teleport play, so Care now has the Justice Punch away. Creme does not find the charm there. Decimating Smash does, and Care is taken out of the game. He's going to be gone for the next 45 seconds, and a Baron is spawning in the next 5.
Oh, such unfortunate timing right here. You've got yourself such good control over the entire game as FPX, but you throw it all away on a little bit of aggressive pathing, and now FPX are walking in so much darkness trying to engage onto this Baron.
I'm not gonna lie, if I was Creme, I would feel Skamaz on that charm. Z-axis moment as FPX trying to step up using Sheer and Jeje as the main entrance men. FPX not getting a lot of vision. Jeje stepping up, cease and desist right onto the backline. It's the same damn combo again. JackeyLove able to use the cleanse this time, and Top Esports able to defend their AD carry from certain death. They lose Kanavi, but they've already dropped JJ and Sheer. Now it's up to JiaQi and Jwei. 2 versus 4, 2 versus the world, but Top Esports can't stand on top for much longer as they respect the power of JiaQi's on-hit Varus and will give ground and get a chance to reset.
Yeah, the Baron is going to stay up. That's exactly what you needed at the end of that play for FPX, just to keep yourselves in the game. Don't throw it all away right now. Still, TES, they are fighting in this one. And the fact that JackeyLove lives there is huge. He blows away the cleanse. Doesn't even have to use the flash there, though.
He's going to keep that, which is going to be so vital for the next fight here. And this is the big difference, Bloxxer. Even if you have the 2-man synchronized dive onto a primary target, they were a little too hasty, not waiting out all the disengage abilities from the front line of Top Esports.
Yeah, it's been a pretty nice look from TES so far. They've thrown a couple bits away, but they've been able to claw their way back in. For FPX, Soul Point available for them right here. 2 minutes 50 until they can grab themselves that Infernal Soul. With a composition that has as much damage available to it as FPX's does, that would be a huge way for them to get into this game and to really put themselves in an actual advantage. As much as they won a couple fights, as much as they found a couple of picks, it's never really felt like FPX are fully in control of this game. That would swing things.
Yep. Even if they don't necessarily climb above Top Esports in gold, from what you see the number on the screen, the Infernal Soul in stats is going to give you hidden gold value that will allow you to at least get the snowball rolling. So let's think about what FPX need to do to get to that point. We're 2 minutes away from that Infernal Soul spawning. Vision has yet to be set up on the bottom side of the map. There's a couple windows where for the next few, like 30 seconds, you have a window to burn shorter ultimates like Cease and Desist, Chain of Corruptions, Deft Charge. Try and see if you can burn Summoner spells to then set yourself up for a more advantageous fight.
I would love to see a pick come through onto Creme here, blow his teleport with trying to rejoin to a fight, rather than being able to find some kind of big flank. I think that could be a real good angle in here for FPX, but it's tricky. All of TES are together.
Good Chain of Corruption stops Kanavi in his tracks. Fallbreaker right on top. Cease and Desist into the backline. It's looking for Creme, as you called out. FPX now joining up. Creme is forced to dash away with the Spirit Rush, but they can't say the same about Hong. And look at that timing. Still 1.5 minutes before the Infernal Soul comes online. Public execution. Fallbreaker flash from JJ. Tries to connect with the JackeyLove, but he still flashes away, but cannot get away for the drink out step. Sheer slices him where he stands. A triple kill for JiaQi's Ferris. And FPX find the Baron afterwards.
They're doing it, Raafaa, right here. FPX, they're going to be able to turn around and pick themselves up the Baron. Sheer just going to fight his way onto 369, keep him out of the pit. And what a fight right there from FPX. We talked about it. We needed to see them be aggressive, but I think this is another situation in this game, maybe the third time, where Kanavi goes in way too far away from his team and just doesn't have the follow-up.
The effective range of Yunara and Ahri has to step up a little too dangerously close, and this is where FPX get to punish.
He's just too far forwards every single time. And watch JackeyLove in the back end of this fight, right? He's stepping up, beginning to auto-attack. Public execution. Straight up public execution as well. That's a very skinny ulti. It misses more often than it hits, I feel like, even in pro play without some setup first.
Back to live. This is for Infernal Soul. In the next 13 seconds, Jwei tries to connect with the Dredge line, but maybe a little too far forward. Decimating smash and the pulverize. Jwei is going to get dropped here. Now 5-on-4 for top eSport. Public execution into the backline, trying to look for the flashless JackeyLove. Creme getting cooked, but he still has 2 more charges with Spirit Rush. Trying to dance his way around. Sheer able to slice him, but he gets dropped by JackeyLove next, and now JackeyLove is firing on all cylinders. The Fallbreaker finds him, though. It's JiaQi that flashes in and takes out JackeyLove. 369, the last member standing from the side of top eSports, but JiaQi and Care able to ride their way through all the way, and now trying to contest what could be their Infernal Soul.
No junglers available whatsoever, so if you want to try for the steal away 369, he could give it a shot. No, he's just going to head on back to base. An Infernal Soul completed here for FPX. Raafaa, we said it. We said it right at the very beginning of the game, in the draft phase. JiaQi is going to have to play on hit, and he's going to have to play perfectly. Well, JiaQi's playing on hit, and I gotta be honest, he is positioning beautifully. He's just constantly hitting throughout this fight, even though he is having everything and the kitchen sink thrown at him, still able to survive. On the backline, Kanavi misses that impale. If he hits that, that's probably enough space for JackeyLove to be able to turn around and deal his damage. It whiffs, he's not able to. There's nothing that JackeyLove can do.
The chaos was just the perfect environment for JiaQi to just thrive in. And normally, when we think about how difficult it is for Varus to operate against this massive front line, if you cannot peel for your Varus, then the best thing you can do is cause enough disruption into the enemy's backline so that their front line is just thinking, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, I gotta save my AD carry, and then no one is focused on the Varus.
Nope. The whole time, JackeyLove kind of just sitting free, hitting 10,000 damage for him. And this is going to be a 4 full items completed right here on JackeyLove. One final item he's going to be heading on towards here as well. Be interested to see what it is. Shield Bow could be the option. Maybe just get himself a Bloodthirster. Just keep on healing himself up as he's going through. This mid lane tier 2 tower is going to be the next focus.
The rest of top esports trying to hold strong their front line. The impale does not hit JiaQi. Creme threatens, but the charm goes wide. He can't even stop JiaQi from hitting and laying arrow after an arrow. Creme able to dodge.
There it
finds
is.
the charm. JiaQi now threatened. The GA is going to get popped, and the rest of top esports, they should be able to clean this one up this time around. And it's top esports who play patiently, wait out the moments of FPX to burn, and top esports strike back.
And this is the quality of top esports, right? If you get a little bit too big for your boots, if you go a little bit too far forwards, it just puts you in such a horrible spot. And they were sieging onto a tier 2 tower, overstretched themselves, and give away a huge swing of gold back into the TES pockets. They're going to be able to grab themselves that tier 2 tower in the mid lane, open up the map a little bit more, and drag themselves back to even in the gold.
and you can imagine that FPX are kicking themselves in the foot. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
this series win, this game win, doesn't necessarily change their seeding, but it would have been a nice way to firmly set yourself up going into Game 3. The fact that you put Top Esports on objective bounties, but then look at this.
Oh, Creme. I can't believe that that doesn't ruin this team fight. That should ruin this team fight. The Creme misses that charm, but it doesn't. There just isn't enough damage. There isn't enough peel. You talked about it, right? Chaos needs to be sown across the backline. And Creme is just able to freely space out onto JiaQi. And the second that he's not hitting, not dealing his damage, I mean, what can you do right there as FPX? Still, Infernal Soul in their pockets. The gold is even at this point in the game. They've not been massively outscaled. They're okay. This is a knife's edge.
Top Esports able to just take a page out of FPX's playbook. They recognize that our Yunar is getting dove multiple times and no one is threatening this Varus. All right, Creme, your next job, just make sure this Varus doesn't get the hit comfortably. And as you called out, didn't hit every single skill shot in the book, but it was enough just to create the space necessary so that JackeyLove was able to survive. And now we have a big GA difference in the marksman here. It's up for JackeyLove. It's not up for JiaQi.
And it's not up for a while for JiaQi, so he's not going to have this one available for the Baron. It's going to be very close to coming back when we get up to that Elder Dragon. This is going to be so tense right here. TES, they've got themselves the fast track towards this pit. They need to clear out all of the vision that FPX have been able to set up for themselves.
Creme has teleport, so he's going to answer the wave stacked up against him in this bottom lane tier 2. Sheer gonna maybe continue pressuring onto this turret before trying to move on over to the left side of the map. Top Esports. Is there a... Oh, I guess he went for Charm Max second. I haven't played Ahri in a hot minute, so I don't know if you max W second commonly in a lot of setups. I'm assuming that's why they're highlighting the build and skill shot setup, but just having max charm duration is so key for Top Esports because JiaQi is the single threat backline that you have to annihilate.
It is all about what Creme could actually do to get himself into the backline here and make it an uncomfortable game here for JiaQi. Full control towards this pit right here for TES, but there are a couple of flank wards and a massive flank right here from Sheer. He is spotted. This is going to break this flank. That's unfortunate. I was super excited to see that one potentially work out. Instead, Care jumping on forwards is actually going to blow the taunt. Not going to get punished for it. Not going to be able to catch anyone either. And we go back to our normal lines in the sand being drawn.
And this is where Top Esports would prefer to be. Making sure that they can keep tabs on any flankers. JJ flash, cease and desist right into the backline. Public execution lines on top. Hero's entrance for a massive knockup. Creme looking for JiaQi, but he flashes forward and knows that's the only way into winning this game. But Creme can still find it with the Orbit Deception paired along the decimating smash. And FPX are still trying to pursue their way through. They annihilated JackeyLove from the fight even after his GA got popped. There's no smite from Kanavi because he's also dead. FPX lose out on their AD carry, but they still find a way to get an advantage in this fight.
Oh, it's so close to working out for both of these teams. And interestingly, Baron, it's straight on down towards that Elder. Grabbing yourself the Elder Drake right now when there's no smite available. It's going to guarantee you on towards that Baron. Once you head there, 369 and Creme, they have to stop this from happening.
7,000 already on the Elder Dragon. JJ has smite. Can Hong swap over to Spellbook smite? I don't think so. FPX is holding the line, and Top Esports now realize that the window has passed and they have to bail. Otherwise, they could risk giving over more kills to FPX with the Elder Dragon on their side, and everyone is going to take a reset.
4 Dragon Soul here for FPX, and now that Elder. And they could just head back, reset, and head towards that Baron. We'll have a look back at this fight. As you highlighted, right, this is both teams flinging everything at the opposing ADCs. JackeyLove gets flashed on towards by a couple members, but it's JackeyLove that ends up going down first. And the Yanara, with that ulti up, has a couple of survivability tools, but really pretty squishy, pretty immobile, and you cannot get away from JJ as soon as he presses that R onto you. That cease and desist has been everything to FPX this game. They're going to get themselves the Elder, they're going to get themselves the Baron, and FPX, they've set themselves up to try win this game.
FPX still have a little bit of that Phoenix magic left in them for their last series of the Rumble stage. They are still an opportunity to play spoiler to the #1 team currently residing in top esports here in the LPL. And FunPlus Phoenix are just one good fight away. Elder Dragon and Baron buff on their side.
You gotta wait out the Elder. You cannot fight into this team composition from FPX when they have Elder up and available for themselves. But still, how much can you afford to concede with the Baron buff? These towers are getting melted down. That's now going to be the top lane cracked on open. The base begins to fall.
No sums on JiaQi. But he's got a GA, he's got a Mercurial Scimitar. Kanavi forced to flash away from the dredge line. He knew that could have been the end of the game right then and there. Top Esports trying to give as many structures as possible to wait out the Elder Dragon. But the Baron buff is empowering the minions to push in through the mid lane. Oh, Care goes a little too aggressive forward. Pulverize and mash from 369, but gets popped. 2-man impale from Kanavi. Do they have enough damage? JiaQi is just pumping through them with all the arrows in the world. It's a flash from Hong trying to intercept it, but Care survives for now. JackeyLove cannot finish, and he straggles off.
Oh, the public!
The public execution! The Elder Dragon will burn them all down to a crisp, and FunPlus Phoenix will rise to the occasion for one last chance.
One final game right here for FPX and for top esports. And what a crazy upset that is. Right, we're coming into today. This is the top of the LPL versus the bottom of Group Ascend. These teams have had heaven and hell runs so far. And yet, FPX, they do it with a composition that is crazy risky. They have to get this comp going, and it has to be executed on pretty much perfectly. It's messy, it's not easy, but by God do they do it.
Incredible for FunPlus Phoenix to find a game win against one of our best teams in the LPL. And even though we know that top esports have been known to drop games in these best of threes throughout the Rumble stage, the manner that FPX did it in is just unlike anything that they have been able to accomplish in this third split. And you have to imagine, with the addition of JJ, there is just a new spark of life that has been revitalized into this FunPlus Phoenix lineup. And regardless of how this series ends, if FPX can pull off games like this, their play-in chances are not looking nearly as doomed as we thought it was going to be.
FPX with Milky Way into EDG into NIP. I was still kind of feeling the Group Nirvana team. FPX with IYY, absolutely I was feeling the Group Nirvana team. Now with JJ, all of a sudden, I'm kind of not so sure anymore. I'm feeling this FPX. They looked real good versus BLG for a while. That is an LPL gold graph of all time. Clip it to the socials once again. And look at what JiaQi does in this, right? JJ is critical because he's constantly getting on top of JackeyLove and making sure that this Yanara isn't able to deal the damage. JiaQi does 61,000 damage in this game. That's one of the highest damage numbers I think I've ever seen.
To have to play on-hit Varus into the composition that top esports had, it is, you're asking a lot. And remember, JiaQi is a rookie. This is his first year in the LPL, first debuting on RNG. RNG get boomed from the league for the rest of 2025 after finishing
Sent to the Shadow
one of the last.
Realm.
Sent to the Shadow Realm after the end of Split 2, being last in Group Nirvana. So JiaQi gets picked up here over Asum, and, you know, there are some question marks about, is that really a considerable upgrade or more than a side grade for FPX's bot lane here? And while that has remained to be seen, this was a great game for JiaQi to step up, where he had to trust in his team to create the disruption, the chaos necessary. And the fact that JiaQi is not just hanging back, he's flashing in aggressively to help finish the assassination. I love that. I
want to see
love
confidence. I want to see confidence from this guy, and the fact that he shows it here in this game is awesome. For FPX, I don't think anybody is going to be putting any faith in FPX, like, going all the way to Worlds, winning the split or anything. But it's very much about what they can build on for next split. We really like Jwei. We're big fans of Jwei here over on the LPL English. We think he's great. If JiaQi's also able to, like, put it together for himself, put himself in a really good spot, now you've got yourself a sort of revitalized feeling in the roster while JJ is playing. That's something you could build around. A strong jungler and a bot lane support duo that you like and that's getting comfortable with each other. That's something you can really put together and look towards what happens in 2026.
Yes. I'm glad you brought that up, because when we saw the roster changes and what some might call the crippling of the FPX roster, with Shadow being taken over to BLG and then making the changes of JiaQi over Assume, we're questioning, okay, what are the parts that you want to build around? Because this is definitely not a roster that's gonna contest to go to Worlds. This is not a roster that is going to contest for a domestic title. Are you just setting up developmental pieces? And if so, then okay. I trust in Jwei. We'll see if JiaQi can earn his stay after being salvaged from RNG. And then obviously the jungler situation has been a little tricky. IYY, a rookie coming up from the developmental, has not been what FPX need at this time. But JJ, man, he
JJ
has...
good.
With JJ in the lineup, this team looks way more confident, way more coordinated, and they're really throwing everything that they've got out the window. It's not perfect, but it is definitely way better than what FPX were dealing with earlier in the split.
So are we giving our game MVP to JJ or to JiaQi in this one?
I don't know, man. There might be a real argument for even Sheer.
Yeah.
Sheer
had some public executions of dreams.
Yeah. But I think any of those three is definitely up there for me, because JJ found incredible flash combos to guarantee the setup. Sheer was able to finish off any opponents and really pursue through thick and thin to make sure that the job was carried out. But JiaQi making the bold plays, can't be
I'm
mad
happy with that. Yeah. That was really, really nice from him right there. 40% of his team's damage. I mean, the amount of damage, 60,000, is insane. Especially for a game that actually overall wasn't that long. I know that we did get ourselves over to Elder, which usually indicates a very long game, but we've seen plenty of 40-plus minute games in recent memory, and that wasn't one of them right here. Massive congratulations there to FPX. They need this momentum going on forwards, whether or not they win the next game. Nobody's really going to be expecting them to do that. But picking up one win versus top esports, showing us that actually they can win with JJ here in the roster. This is great for FPX.
Yeah, the fact that we had our producer show a stat that top esports nearly has more than 5 times the wins that FPX has in game wins this entire split. FPX now moves to their overall 6-game win. And we'll see if FPX can complete the upset and dismantle top esports and set them up to be spoiled by either IG or BLG for the #1 spot in the league, or if top esports will bounce back and put FunPlus Phoenix back to earth. We'll see you after this break.